What if feeling nothing is actually your heart's last attempt to protect itself? You're not angry, you're not heartbroken, you're just blank, empty. You smile when you're supposed to, you say, "Oh, we're fine," and you almost believe it. But inside, something's gone quiet. And that silence is deafening. Here's the confusing truth. Emotional numbness doesn't mean your relationship is over. It means something real has been buried for too long. Because love doesn't usually break apart. It drifts through missed moments, quiet exits, and conversations left unsaid. When you've told yourself, "Oh, it's not worth the fight." And you've told yourself that too many times. This video isn't about fixing your partner. It's about uncovering what you stopped feeling and why. We'll look at the hidden pain beneath numbness and how remembering your inner clarity, it can change everything. If you've ever whispered, "I don't feel like myself anymore," well, this isn't the end. It's your wake-up call. You're not broken. You're just living in the illusion that you are. And most people think love dies in some big explosion, shouting, slamming doors, walking away. But the truth is far less dramatic. Love fades under the weight of chronic overthinking, of feeling disconnected, not from your partner, but from yourself. And when we misunderstand where our experience is coming from, we blame the wrong thing. We blame the relationship, we blame our partners, we blame ourselves. But what if the fog, the flatness, the numbness isn't the truth of how you feel? It's just a moment of distorted thought, temporarily believed. Let's break it down. Thought creates feeling every single time. Thought creates our reality. When you feel disconnected in your relationship, well, it's easy to think it's because he doesn't ask about my day, or it's because I've changed and he hasn't. But what if none of that is actually the cause? What if what you're feeling is always and only coming from the thoughts you're believing in the moment? I'm working with a woman, and she came to me certain her marriage was over. She didn't feel love. She wasn't interested. She wasn't even frustrated. Just flat. But when we slowed things down and she got curious, not about him, not about the past, but about her experience, she saw something that changed everything. She saw that for months and years, she'd been living inside a storm of insecure thought. She was thinking, "I'm always the one who gives in. He never really sees me. We've lost the spark. There's no love left." And she'd been believing those thoughts as if they were facts. But thoughts are not facts. They're just mental weather. And when she stopped trying to fix her partner and started seeing her thinking as temporary noise, her feelings began to shift. Not because he changed, but because she reconnected with her inner clarity. And from there, her warmth started to return. So did her humor. And eventually, so did their connection. So how do you know if this is you? Well, here are a few signs that your numbness isn't a symptom of a broken relationship, but of a mind that's been working overtime. Maybe you've stopped speaking up, not from indifference, but exhaustion. And you think, why bother? Because you're lost in the belief that nothing will change. Or maybe you feel depleted by the tiniest interactions. It's just exhausting. And it's not because they're hard, but because you're carrying a heavy load of thought and don't know that you can actually set it down. Or maybe you avoid closeness, not because you don't want it, but because you're afraid it'll expose how lost you feel inside. Or, maybe you doubt yourself constantly. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I just expect too much. These aren't facts. They're thoughts. And thoughts can shift in an instant. So here's what I want you to know. There is nothing wrong with you. Your numbness is not a character flaw or a sign that love has died. It's a gentle signal that you've been living in your head for too long, and your heart is ready to come home. So how do you come back from it? Well, not by fixing the relationship, not by fixing yourself, but by remembering who you are beyond your thinking. Here are 2 gentle shifts that open the door to reconnection. Pause before you follow thought. The moment you feel that ache of disconnection, your brain will rush in to explain it. And your thoughts will say to you, we've grown apart. They never loved me. I'm not lovable. Oh, here goes this again. But all of that, it's just the noise of a stirred up mind. Let the thought pass before you act on it. Give yourself a moment of quiet. Not to analyze or problem solve, but to reconnect with what's real. Because beneath the swirl of fear, judgment, and assumptions, there's a deeper intelligence that always knows what matters. Let that come through. Speak from presence, not pain. When you're ready to talk, don't lead with resentment. Lead with awareness. What I mean by this is, instead of saying, you never listen to me, try, there's a part of me that misses feeling close to you. This shift in tone, this act of remembering your shared humanity, it changes everything. And when you speak from presence, you invite presence in return. You stop trying to win and you start connecting. And guess what? That's when your partner starts to soften too. Not because you pushed them, but because you opened the space for something real to emerge. You're not broken, you're just covered in thought. And the moment you stop treating numbness as proof something is wrong, and you start seeing it as temporary, impersonal thought, well, you can breathe again. You feel again. You remember. You still care. You've just been caught in the fog. And the fog always lifts. You don't need to solve your relationship in a day. You don't need to do more to be worthy of love. You simply need to wake up to the truth. Love doesn't die in silence. It waits. It rests beneath the noise. And the moment you stop believing every scary thought, it rises again. And often talking more won't fix your relationship, but talking better just might bring it back to life. I mean, if every conversation feels like a dead end, don't give up. There's a reason your words aren't landing, and it's not because you're broken. In this next video, you'll learn the one shift that turns disconnection into warmth again, not with tactics, with presence, with timing, with truth. Let's bring the real you back into the room and the connection back into your relationship. I'll see you there, and I'm rooting for you.